Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Yo, today we're gonna be talking about last night's shenanigans, followed by what we can expect. Going forward, man. Couple of news and notes from the day, man. We know we've got some NFL jumping off tomorrow. We are definitely going to get inside of the shop, man, inside of the Facebook VIP, and break that down and take a really solid look at that 2-game slate. Yo, man, what a weird night. Yo, luckily I didn't play very heavily because, of course, today Bible study day and date night, so I didn't get a ton of lineups in. If I had, I would have been all wrong, all over the place. The few things that I did get right were just not enough to supplant the things that I know I would have gotten wrong, man. And usually that's how the slate goes for me. If I'm a little bit more right about things than I am wrong, usually I'm really good. Okay, so yo, man, it was a tough one, bro. It was a very tough one. So, and real quick, something I wanted to show you all. I want y'all to go to Twitter. Okay, this is for everybody, man. YouTube world, VIP world, all of you. I want you to go to Twitter and type in NFL beat writers in the search engine here at the top. And what this is gonna do, bro, this is gonna give you the access to all the teams, everybody, all the beat writers for all the teams. This is where you're gonna get the most information in terms of NFL, especially preseason, man. It's Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter account, you've got to get one. And when you do get one, as a matter of fact, hit the boy up and follow the boy, right? Look, you got some of the bigger names like your Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport and those guys, but I'm talking about you need to know who's covering the Browns at 3 in the morning when they're at the club and what's going on. You need to know all of that, and that's why some of these cats, Mike Rice covers the Patriots, Aaron Wilson covers the Texans. You got Albert Breer, one of the larger names, but James Walker, like all of these cats, man. And the more you look, the more you'll find people that cover teams in different areas. Great stuff. I mean, your Twitter feed will be jumping with information, man, and you're gonna get a lot of good stuff off of Twitter, and that's especially during preseason, man, because they can tell you a lot about what's going on and who's gonna be seeing minutes, who's gonna be getting playing time, stuff like that. So as we shift into NFL, we're still going hard at MLB, of course, but as we add NFL, the things that we do on the daily. Definitely go to Twitter, man, and check out some of these cats, man. Make sure you follow, man. Go to your Twitter, type in NFL beat writers, cue it in, search it up, and you're gonna see all of these cats, man. Yeah, and I've been following all of these guys for like the last couple of seasons because that's just something that man. As a good DFS player, man, you've got to follow the beat writers. It works really well, not only in NBA and MLB, but definitely NFL preseason most specifically. You're gonna love the stuff you get there. So go hook that up, all right? So pretty interesting slate that we had. For me, had small buy-ins, a few cash games. Still waiting on those to finish. I've got Mike Trout still going, who did the damn thing, and the Angels are killing it right now. Well, no, game just went final. The game just went final. The Angels won 7-0. Yo, it was nuts. It was nuts. You look at the Mets, man. We discussed the Colorado Rockies and the New York Mets as a game stack. We discussed that in a line drive, but not at all did I think to just that. Okay. Not at all did we think the Mets would blow up like that. They had like a 7-run inning or some shit. They went crazy. Then you look at the Marlins. You look at Vance Worley, who I went on record saying there's no way, ain't no way I'm going to play no goddamn Vance Worley. No way in hell I can't play Vance Worley. And dude went out and pitched a freaking gem and went nuts. So the egg there is on my face with that one. Worley had a really nice one. Really solid game for him. Just found out that the homie Sterling Shepard, man, from my New York Football Giants, he got carted off on a stretcher, man. It was really bad for him. Or taken off on the cart, man. So hope prayers up for the homie Sterling Shepard. Found this out because I followed Jordan Rennan, a guy that covers the New York Football Giants, my New York Football Giants. That's going to be pretty tough. You know, Will Fuller is going to be out for most of the season. Well, indefinitely. Will Fuller is going to be out. We know that. So, yo, things coming up, man. Things are coming up. Yo, shout out to the homie Ronald Corley, man. He made, like he does every day, makes a really solid spreadsheet for us to jump off with. Now, this is going to be exclusively in the DFS Sweatshop Facebook VIP, where we get the pitching trends and we can check it out. As you can see, you got guys like Corey Kluber with that 16% swinging strike rate at the top, leading off, setting off guys tomorrow. So, you know, we're going to see a very solid pitching slate. I like this a lot, and we're going to be moving into that. Of course, on DraftKings, we've got 13 games in the all-day slate. 3 of them are going to be in the early, pretty much like what happened yesterday. We got 10 games serving as the main slate at 7:05, and then, of course, we got the 4-game turbo at 7:35. At 8:10, we got a 3-game turbo, and the night games, only 2 of them at 10:07. Yo, tonight, Edwin McAdams, tonight was tough, bro. Tonight was tough. It was a tough one, man. It really was. Just did not have, and what it was, my whole night hinged on the Dallas Keuchel play. The only reason why I played Keuchel is because I thought that nobody else would want to play him. I thought everybody else would be smarter than me, not play Keuchel. Oh, but then he would come around and he would go nuts and get me 30 DraftKings points. That was my hope. But this dude is clearly not ready to pitch, man. He's clearly not ready to pitch. Dallas Keuchel is not ready, bro. He's not right. And it was bad watching him. And the only thing that that you can look at going forward is he didn't look to have any pain or discomfort. It just looks like no, I don't think he got the blisters. I don't think he got the blisters. It just looked to me like he's finding the location of his pitches. He pitches with such power, and I didn't really understand, how commanding his pitches has to be in order to really get strikes. I just looked at him as a straight up power pitcher, blowing the ball by guys. But now that I see that his location is slightly off and he's leaving stuff right over the plate, where a couple of weeks ago, this is where it drops off of the table. I mean, it's coming at you, looks like a awesome fastball, something great to hit, and just dives into the dirt. Like, the pitchers aren't doing that, man. They're staying up. And those cats have been hitting them. So, I don't think you can look at me playing Dallas Keuchel for quite some time. I'm going to need to see some very solid positive regression in order for me to look at him going forward, okay? Then we had, of course, the Cody Bellinger, the Dodgers stuff. I had a feeling that the Dodgers were not going to score a ton of runs. They were easily the stack everybody loved. I was really glad that I kind of faded them as a stack, but I did get some Cody Bellinger. So that was pretty good. I loved the Weaver play. He was chalk, turned out to be chalk in a lot of spots. He was 25% owned, only 11% owned on FanDuel, where I did play him. That was really good. I was glad about that. The one guy that did disappoint me immensely was Suter. I thought Suter was in a very solid spot. Really wanted to take advantage of him. But it seems like he ran out of gas at a certain point in the game and just gave up, 2 or 3 runs in rapid succession and got pulled out of the game. So still a decent night. A lot to build off. So it says today was a good night. Yeah, really, my offbeat stuff worked tonight. Stuff like that happened here. Yeah, yeah, man. So it was a decent night. Still something to learn, something to grow on. We're gonna be doing what we normally do. This is where we're gonna jump into some pitching, man. We're gonna really grab a hold to the pitchers that we like. We've got our spreadsheet made through Fangraphs that the homie Ronald Coley already made for us. What's going on, Armando? So we're gonna look at that. Also jumping into working of course, from RotoQL. That's where I work from. You all know that. I'm going to default this to the season projection averages. Do not want to give away the paid content for the freebie. But if you want to hop on, RotoQL, man, very simple. There's going to be a link to the description in this video. Go ahead and get with them, man. Really solid service. This is going to be my first year using them for NFL. So if you want me to test it out for a couple of weeks, see how it goes, and let you know how I like it in terms of NFL, I think they're onto some really solid stuff. I think it can be good. So let's go ahead, jump into the slate, man. We've got Park Factors open. We've got Fangraphs. We're working what right-handers at home, what they're doing, We're talking about left-handers at the crib, what they're doing. We're going to be working from Fangraphs, making all of this shit happen. Of course, let's go ahead and jump right into it. The first game on the slate is the St. Louis Cardinals and the Milwaukee Brewers. Yo, this is going to be a part of the early, where we got those 3 games in the early. I'm talking about the St. Louis Cardinals, the Milwaukee Brewers, the Arizona Diamondbacks, Chicago Cubs, and the Mets and the Rockies. So Coarse is off of the main slate. Coarse is off of the main slate, and that should make it a little bit easier for you all in terms of worrying about where you're gonna bet, because I mean you got the 3 best parks for batters in the game are going to be all in the early state. You got Miller Park, you've got excuse me, 2 of the best. You got Miller Park and you've got Coors Field already locked and loaded on the early slate. I thought Arizona was at home, but no, they're in Wrigley Field. So first game we got St. Louis Cardinals, Milwaukee Brewers, Matt Garza at 6.5. You got Michael Walker at 8.4. We're going to take a look at what the Milwaukee Brewers do at the crib versus right-handed pitching. Hopefully, this is going to be not a great spot for them. 170 ISO here. I'm liking it already. I'm liking it already. Okay, 170 ISO with a 292 WOBA, 26.9% K rate. You know exactly what that means. That means that right now, Michael Walker at 8.4, a guy that's had pretty good success over the last few starts, man. Good success over the last few starts. Let's go ahead and default this to DraftKings too, so we can get that. This means Michael Walker at 9.7, excuse me, coming off a 25-point performance against Arizona, 11 against Chicago, 42 against the Mets, 25 against Miami, 32 against Washington. This means that he is going to be in play for me. Michael Walker at 9.7. I really think that that is definitely a place that we can look to. Matt Garza 6.6. I'm going to take a look at him, because it wasn't Garza who's been playing well for the Brewers. It was Davies who've been pitching pretty good lately. 2 games against Philly, his last 2 starts, 11-7, 22 against Baltimore. No, not a guy that I want to use. We know that the St. Louis Cardinals on the road, while they are not awesome on the road, especially let's go against righties too. The St. Louis Cardinals on the road against right-handed pitching, not great at all. 117 is going to be the ISO with a 302 WOBA, 22.6% K rate. So they're not great at all on the road versus righties. But what that means is you may be able to play 1 or 2 of them. Matt Garza is not a guy that I think we can use to attack St. Louis in that spot. So not going to like Garza. I am going to be on some Michael Walker in the early. I think that's definitely a solid place to go. Next game we got is the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Chicago Cubs. You got Zach Greinke at 12.2, Jose Quintana at 10.1. Man, I wish these games were in the late. I mean, in the all day. This should have been the main, man. This should have been part of the main, bro. Fuck, I hate that. Zach Greinke 12.2, priced up just a touch. 32.75 against St. Louis in his last start. 27 against Atlanta. 4.65 against Cincinnati. 30.75 against Cincinnati. 29 against Colorado at the crib. Yo, let's take what's up with Greinke's home road splits. Away, great. Away, not bad. He's better at the crib. He's been better at the crib recently. So Quintana 10.1. He's been pitching a lot better recently. I guess been wanting to play, coming over from the Chicago White Sox to the Cubs here. 17, 21, 41, 21 in his last 4 starts. Both usable. It's only a 3-game slate. They're both usable. I would take the discount with a guy like Quintana and just pay up for some of the Colorado bats or the New York Mets bats in this spot. But I think paying down for pitching and paying up for Colorado is going to be something a lot of cats do too. So not a big fan of Greinke at 12.2. I would rather play Quintana in this spot. I would rather play Quintana in this spot in the early. I'd rather play Quintana in this spot. That's gonna be the guy that I'm gonna be looking to. Let's take a look. Chicago Cubs, what they do at the crib versus righties. I think they're pretty decent, man. 172 ISO, 323 WOBA. That's not bad. Only an 18.4% K rate. And then we're looking on the road versus lefties. What we can look for from the Arizona Diamondbacks. These numbers should be paltry, man. I'm talking 168 ISO, a sub 300 WOBA at 278, 30.1% K rate. 30.1% K rate. To me, that screams Quintana, man. I'm playing some Quintana. I like Quintana tomorrow in the early. That's where I'm going. Last game on that early slate is the New York Mets and the Colorado Rockies. We are, of course, again in Coors Field. 71 degrees, not as hot as I would like it. 8-mile-per-hour wind going out toward left field. 0% chance of rain with a 52 dew point. Rafael Montero, 4K. German Marquez, 5.6. Marquez was a guy that I was able to play a few times recently. 33 against Washington, 30 against Pittsburgh. We look at what the Mets can do on the road versus lefties, versus righties, and that's really gonna tell us what we can do with the New York Mets here. 20% K rate, 129 ISO, 279 WOBA. Now keep in mind, this was the same set of circumstances that we saw yesterday when the Mets went the fuck off and scored like 5 runs in 1 inning. So be careful with playing Marquez. I think everything kind of regresses back to the mean. I think we do have a game that does not see the 12.5 run total. I'm going to look at German Marquez as a pitcher prospect. I know he's probably going to be the lowest owned pitcher on the slate because that's usually what happens whenever you have guys that are pitching in Coors. So Marquez is going to be a guy that I'm going to be looking at. So in the early, give me some Marquez. He would be the guy I would like. Give me some Jose Quintana, as well as Michael Wacha. Those are going to be my 3 pitchers for the early stage. Let's move into the main, where we've got the first game on the slate, the Detroit Tigers and the Baltimore Orioles. Matthew Boyd at 5K, Chris Tillman at 4.8. I'm going to go over and check on DK just to make sure that these are the correct pitching prospects that we have. Do not want to mislead anyone. Boyd and Tillman, baby. And Tillman is horrible. Jim Dean, what's up, big homie? Jessup Eduardo, what's happening, fam? Tillman is horrible, man. 4.8 for him. You got some really solid bats in terms of the Detroit Tigers here. I want to take a look at what they've been doing on the road recently against righties. Oh my God, one of the worst teams in the league in terms of ISO. 0.089 ISO, 306 WOBA with a 20.7% K rate. Does that mean that Chris Tillman is going to be in play at 4.8? Hell no, it doesn't. Chris Tillman is not a guy that can exploit how bad the Detroit Tigers have been on the road versus righties, especially in a park so friendly to hitters. We look at Oriole Park, man. This is Camden Yards, man. This is huge park factor, plus 115 for them. So I wouldn't think I could play Chris Tillman in this spot at all. I would be looking to some of the Detroit Tigers bats. 10.5 run total. Be careful. There's a 14% chance of moderate rain in this spot. We could see a delay or rain out. 68 dew point, 59% humidity, 83 degrees. Gonna be pretty hot there. That's pretty decent. That should almost certainly favor the batters in this spot. Now against Matthew Boyd, let's take a look at what the Baltimore Orioles have done at home versus left-handed pitching. I kind of like them in this spot. Where they at? 12th in the league in ISO with a 191. I like that one. 191 ISO, 331 WOBA, 20.4% K rate. Yes, Caleb Joseph have been mashing lately. Definitely. Tillman alert. Tillman is in play for you. Come from Brandon Flood. I definitely want to sink my teeth into this Baltimore order, man. I like some of those Baltimore bats. I'm not going to be a fan of Matt Boyd at all, even though I think he did have a solid start last time out. Last couple of starts against Houston, 19.7, 23.3 against Minnesota, and 12.1 against Kansas City. I don't see it happening here. A lot of solid righty-lefty matchups. The one thing I don't like about this is some of the price points. I love Adam Jones at 3.6. If he's leading off, give me some Adam Jones. I love him. We see Manny Machado is 4.6. Scope is up above 5K, and he's a guy that has had he was a reverse splits guy, hit righties really well. But this season, bro, he's been killing it. He's been killing it against left-handers. So give me some of that Jonathan Scope. I like him too. Next game we got is the Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates. We've got Chad Kuhl at 5.7 against Sal Romano at 6.4. 14% chance of light rain here. 5-mile-per-hour wind going out toward left field. 81 degrees with a 65 dew point. Chad Kuhl was somebody that I liked to play earlier in the season, man. Take a look at what he was able to do earlier, man. 14, 21, 12, 19. Had some decent starts. 17, 16, 17. Lately, 10, 7.5, 17.95. just not very great lately. And the Reds have turned the corner, have been hitting the ball really well. We take a look at what they can do on the road versus righties, and this whole series has been them playing well. It's been them playing well. So on the road versus right-handed pitching, let's take a look at what the Cincinnati Reds do. I've got them here, fifth in the league in ISO, 213 with a 340 WOBA, 20% K rate. That Winker kid has been smashing jacks. Duvall hit one last night. Billy Hamilton went Billy Ham in the first game of this series. So I think Cincinnati's going to clearly be in play. And when Cincinnati's in play for me like this, Sal Romano is going to be a guy that I'm going to pay attention to at 6.4K. A guy that I think is going to be in line for the win. Does have upside to where he can get, that 15-point performance, then go with the win and possibly get you 20, 13.45, 27.1 in his last two starts, both against Miami Marlins. I think he's going to be usable here. Look at the Pirates and what they do at the crib versus righties, and I can tell you, man, it's just not that great. 1.04 ISO, 282 WOBA with a 17.2% K rate. This is not very good. This is not good, and I think we can continue. We can continue to play right-handed pitching as long as the Pittsburgh Pirates are at the crib. They're just not hitting the ball well at home against righties. Next game we got is the Chicago White Sox and the Boston Red Sox. Yo, the Red Sox killed me yesterday. They fuck around and canceled that game, and they're gonna make that up. I think on the 14th of August. That kind of sucked. That we can't. That had to go down like that. So it's all good. We got Miguel Gonzalez 4.5, Rick Porcello 9.7. 0% chance of rain here. 8-mile-per-hour wind going out toward the big green monster in Fenway Park. 64 dew point, can be 80 degrees in this spot. And yo, Chicago White Sox have not laid down, man. They've been playing some pretty spirited ball lately, man. They have not been laying down. I mean, they got beat by Toronto yesterday, but they came back against them the game before that. So this is not a team I think that we can just take lightly, bro. There's a couple of guys that are very cheap, gives you an opportunity to pay up for pitching where you may need to. So against Rick Porcello as well, we've got a 10-run total, massive money line favorite in terms of negative 240 for the Boston Red Sox, whereas the White Sox are plus 213. That also raises eyebrows for me. I like to sometimes bet against the favorite just to be contrarian. It definitely helps out. So we've got Benintendi, a guy that was my guaranteed jack yesterday. I'm going to like him. Porcello at 9.7. Don't really love him in this spot. But let's take a look at what the White Sox do on the road versus right-handed pitching. Let's take a look. 11th in the league in ISO, 167. That's not horrible. 333 WOBA here and a 19.4% K rate. That makes the Chicago White Sox a little playable for me, man. I think I can grab a couple of one-offs in that spot. Taking a look at what the Boston Red Sox do at the crib versus righties. Not great for them as well. 125 ISO, 296 WOBA with a 23.7% K rate. And I think out of all of these situations, home versus righties, home versus lefties, away versus righties, away versus lefties, at home versus righties is where the Red Sox do most of their striking out at. So if you want to catch them striking out, it's at home versus righties. Now, do we want to use a guy like Miguel Gonzalez? Nah, can't do it with Miguel Gonzalez. Can't do it. Or Porcello, can't do it. Don't like pitching that spot. Next game we got is my New York Yankees and the Cleveland Indians. Yo, Sonny Gray. I think you gotta play Sonny Gray. I think you gotta play Sonny Gray tomorrow. I just do. I think you gotta play Sonny Gray. I think you gotta fade Kluber. You gotta fade Kluber against the Yankees. And you gotta play Sonny Gray. Well, as a Yankee fan, if you are a Yankee fan tomorrow, you gotta play Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray. I'm locked into Sonny Gray tomorrow. I'm gonna play him. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how it feels to come from the Oakland A's and be initiated into the very best sporting franchise in American history, in world history for that matter? Can you imagine the feeling of putting on the pinstripes for the very first time? Being a part of a fraternity of some of the greatest professional athletes, most revered American icons in history. Huh? course. Of course. That's why Sonny Gray is going to be in play for me. Can you imagine putting on the pinstripes for the first time? Oh my God. Sonny Gray is in play. 8.8 for me. Even though the Cleveland Indians are really good, and this could be, it could be a shell. Yo, give me some Sonny Gray. And I take that back about fading Corey Kluber too. I'm not going to have a ton of exposure here to Kluber. At 11K, that's going to be somewhat of a discount than what we're used to, but it better be a discount against some of the Yankees. Now, why aren't we getting discounts against the Yankees? This sucks. This sucks. This put us behind a rock and a hard place because we have no we have there's no need for us to play Yankees here. There's no need for us to play any Yankee because Kluber's not going to get shelled up. But what are you going to do? Are you going to play Brett Gardner for 5.3? Fuck no. Are you going to play Aaron Judge for 5.2? No. You're gonna spend 5.3 on Gary Sanchez? The only remotely playable cat that I see here is maybe Chase Headley, maybe Jacoby Ellsbury. You know, maybe. That's it. If you want to stretch, to the condom pops, maybe Didi Gregorius. Other than that, there's nobody I would play. Nobody I would play. This could be a like fade game actually. 8.5 run total. This could be like a little pitchers, probably a pitchers duel, and there is a chance. That the game does delay or rain out. As you can see, there's a 23% chance of moderate rain at Progressive Field in Cleveland. We do have correspondents out in Cleveland, Ohio area that can definitely let us know exactly what's going on. Yo, that is crazy how expensive they are, bro. And this is the Yankee bias, bro. This is the Yankee bias because any other team in the freaking league, and you'd see Mookie Betts at 3.7 against Corey Kluber. You know what I'm saying? You got Brett fucking Gardner at 5.3. That's nuts. That's not cool. Who else paying for that? You know what I mean? Gardner and Didi, I wouldn't really take Kluber. It's gonna rain. Yeah, it's gonna rain anyway. Yeah, it is. It is. It is. So we're gonna revisit this, make sure the game does play. But this is gonna be a good one. I hope it does play because I really do want to check Sonny Gray out in the pinstripes, man. Wish the game was in Yankee Stadium. So Kluber, I'm gonna ice him up as well as Sonny Gray. I have those guys in there. Next game we got is the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Atlanta Braves. Kinda told you. I liked the Braves yesterday. I did not like the Dodgers as a stack. The only guy that I really liked yesterday was Cody Bellinger. He went out and smashed the jack. For the second day in a row. So Alex Wood, 11.4. Sean Newcomb at 5.2. I think Alex Wood might be in play. Let's take a look at what happens at the crib against left-handed pitching for the Atlanta Braves. I think they're not – okay, here we go. 140 ISO, 245 WOBA with a 20% K rate. I think that is all systems go. Decent spot for Alex Wood. We're going to look at what the LA Dodgers do on the road versus lefties, and I think they mash. 365 ISO. There's only 98 plate appearances, but that's enough. 365 ISO, 455 WOBA. Yes. Newcomb should deal on these guys. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Yo, look at this, man. The Dodgers, man, it's 98 plate appearances, 22.4% K rate, 365 ISO, with a 455 WOBA. That is nuts. That is nuts. So let's take a look at Sean Newcomb, man, and see if he played him already and what happened. Yeah, okay, he had 20.7 against him last time in Dodger Stadium. This and the funny part about this is this stadium, this stadium is kind of built for lefty power, and we're not going to see a lot of the lefty bats in this spot. I think Corey Seager, the slump he's on, coupled with being in a lefty-lefty matchup with Sean Newcomb, he's probably not going to be in the lineup. So we're going to see a bunch of other guys. I'm talking, Puig, and you're probably going to see Austin Barnes, that cat. So, I mean, I don't know for sure until the lineups come out, but that 365 ISO, bro, I think that's the day. I think we were a day early on the Dodgers. So I think I'm going to be playing them cats. And I want none of Sean Newcomb. And I think Alex Wood is a guy that is going to be in play for us. Next game we got is the Tampa Bay Rays and the Houston Astros. We got Blake Snell, Colin McHugh. Let's go ahead and make sure these are the correct guys, man. Anytime I see a name that I haven't seen a lot of, I'm gonna check. Okay, Blake Snell, Colin McHugh. Yo, Blake Snell, cheap as shit, 5.3. Now we got see this is where our poker faces come in. Do we think that people look at what happened last night and are like, wow, man, are like, wow, man, um, you know, the Houston Astros are not the same. They're just not the same. You know what I mean? And they're not the same without Springer, without all of the usual suspects that we saw in the rotation, and against Blake Snell. Blah, blah, blah. Nah, fuck that. I'm going back to Houston. I like Houston. There's no way I'm playing. There's no way I'm playing Blake Snell. Let's look at what the Houston Astros do at the crib against lefties. It's all good. 200 ISO, 306 WOBA, 21% K rate. Yes, I'm still gonna stack them. I'm still gonna stack them. I'm still gonna stack the Houston Astros, and I'm gonna play them against Blake Snell. Most certainly, I am. Colin McHugh, 7.5. Let's take a look at what he's done in his last couple of starts. 22 against Detroit, 6.3 against Baltimore. And for me, if we look on the road at what the Tampa Bay Rays do against right-handed pitching, they're pretty decent, man. 186 ISO, 300 WOBA, a 24.9% K rate. That, to me, is what's going to put Colin McHugh in play for me, because I think he's not only going to be in line for the win, but I think that he can, get a few strikeouts to where the runs he does give up won't really hurt him. So I think McHugh is going to be in play for us, as well as some of the Houston bats. No Blake Snell, even though he's very cheap at 5.3, I just can't get to him. 9.2, 13.5, 11, 16.45 in his last 4 starts. Not feeling him at all. Give me some Colin McHugh. He's not so good. He's not so good that I'm gonna, not hedge against him with maybe a bat or two from Tampa Bay. But I think Colin McHugh's the guy that we can look to, most certainly. McHugh is a decent pitcher. Tampa could blow him up, though. Yes, coming from Christopher for me, I agree with that completely. I agree with that. Next game we got is the Texas Rangers and the Minnesota Twins. Yo, Joey Gallo hit another one last night, bro. Took it over the fence, bro. Check it out. Now we got 17-mile-per-hour wind going out toward right field. A 57% chance of moderate rain. This game could definitely rain out. Definitely could rain out. 58 degrees, 82% humidity. AJ Griffin at 6K. Alberto Mejia at 6.7. You look at the Twins at the crib versus right-handed pitching. Have not been prolific lately. 126 ISO with a 336 WOBA. Also sporting a 21.3% K rate. That means AJ Griffin is not the guy that I think I can use to attack this. And we don't have an over-under on this yet, because this could be one of those high-scoring games. A lot of rain, sweat. It's going to be tough on pitchers. The pitchers actually suck in this spot. If the game does play, we can see a lot of runs. We look at what the Texas Rangers do on the road versus left-handed pitching, and I don't think it's very great, actually. Yeah, we're talking about 172 ISO, 348 WOBA with a 16.9% K rate. That's not bad. That's not bad, bro. That is not bad at all. That is not bad at all. That is not bad. Yeah, we can play some of these cats, but no pitching for me here. No pitching for me here. Next game we got is the Seattle Mariners and the Kansas City Royals. Trevor Cahill is making his Royals debut, I believe, at 6.2. Giovanni Gallardo at 5.8. I think Gallardo is a guy that I did play last time out. Yeah, 14.5 against the Mets. Against my Yankees, 10.45 before that. So he's not specifically horrible, but this game definitely 33% chance of heavy rain. Yo, we got a lot of rain games, bro. Yo, we got a lot of rain games, man. So be on the lookout for those. Gallardo against Trevor Cahill. I think this is a get right spot for the Kansas City Royals if the game does play. Actually, we take a look at the Royals at the crib versus righties, and they've been fairly decent recently, man. I'm talking 204 ISO with a 391 WOBA, 19.2% K rate. That means all systems are go for me with some Kansas City bats if the game does play. You're looking on the other side against Seattle. Let's check out Kauffman Stadium too, just to see exactly what type of yard this is. I think it's a neutral yard. This is nope. Kansas City. No, this is a pitcher's park. This is a pitcher's park. Yep, pitcher's park. All right, so Take a look at Seattle against Trevor Cahill, a guy that's definitely attackable. He's definitely attackable. -3, -6.35, 27 at the crib. Oh, excuse me, in AT&T Park against the Giants when they weren't hitting for shit, but not very good in his last 2 starts. Now I think he's gonna get run support in the spot, in my opinion, versus Gallardo with some of the Kansas City bats. Will it be enough to guarantee him to win? I can't really speak to that because it all depends on how bad he's gonna be, man. And you look at what Seattle does on the road versus righties, and it's not going to blow your mind, bro. I'm talking a 153 ISO with a 278 WOBA and a 20% K rate. So I think Trevor Cahill could be in line for the win. You grab some Kansas City Royals bats, could be in a solid spot. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Next game we got, and this is going to start the late games, the Philadelphia Phillies and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. We got Jared Eckhoff priced at 9.2, Parker Bridwell 8.3. Bridwell did not disappoint us last time we rolled him out there. 24 points against Toronto, 18 against Boston, 22 against Tampa, and 23 against Minnesota. Those were his last 4 starts, and that's fairly decent. And if we think that we're going to see, those solid scoring performances, scoring outbursts, so to speak, from the Los Angeles Angels, the way we've been seeing over the last couple of games, then I think Parker Bridwell at 8.3 is a really solid play. Very solid play. Look at the Phillies on the road versus right-handed pitching, and they're not great. They're not great. They're not great at all. Actually, 328 WOBA, decent, but that 131 ISO with a 21% K rate. What this line means, you got a 21% K rate, a 131 ISO, and a 328 WOBA. What this means for them is that they don't hit for a ton of extra bases, but they can get on base, and they would be more. If there were a couple of guys that could get on base and steal, if they still had, Howie Kendrick to go along with Cesar Hernandez, or if I see Nick Williams going to be in this rotation, and you see a lot of lefty righty stuff at the top of the order, I could like Philadelphia a little bit more. But depending on how the lineup looks is gonna say whether I can just play Bridwell or if I can play Bridwell and then still have some Philadelphia kind of hedge stuff going on the other end. So Jared Eckhoff 9.2. Let's take a look at what the Angels do at the crib versus righties. I think they've been pretty decent lately, kind of heating up. No, 18.2% K rate. They still don't strike out a lot. The WOBA is almost at 300, 299 with a 163 ISO. But they just don't strike out enough, bro. They just don't strike out enough. They just don't strike out enough, man. They just don't strike out enough and to play Jared Eckhoff at 9.2. They just don't. So Philadelphia, like I said, on the road versus righties, not very good. Not very good. Not very good. That 131 ISO, bro, that is not good at all. I love to have them at the crib, but it's not on the road, especially against Parker Bridwell, a guy that's a very solid, pitcher. So next game we got, I want to say in the last game, Britnell McHugh with Dodger lefties. I got a plan coming together and lots of salary to pay up for one-offs. Here it is. You got Oakland Athletics with Kendall Graveman at 7K. Ty Block 6.3. Let's take a look on DK to make sure that's the guys that's supposed to be pitching, bro. Damn, Graveman out of here. Look at old Kendall Graveman. No, I can't play him. This is gonna be a first start. I think coming back off of the DL. Ty Block 7.3. Never like to play that cat. We talked about this yesterday and earlier in the line drive when everybody was like, "Yo, Matt Moore," and I was like, "Yo, Matt Moore just did not seem like the pitcher to exploit the spot that the Oakland A's were in." Because when we looked at them, on the road, I believe on the road versus right-handed pitching, the A's were like, or was it left-handed pitching? Yeah, the A's were horrible. 0.05, 0.045 ISO, 237 WOBA. I mean, they were just putrid. 27% K rate, but Matt Moore was not the guy that we could use to exploit that. See, it's one thing to be in a bad situation as a pitcher, as a batter, whatever it is. It's one thing to be in a bad situation, but you gotta see if that can be exploited. And that's why we kind of shifted the focus over to Gossett, and we liked Gossett a little bit more, just because I just didn't like Moore, and I knew there was a pitcher in that game that was going to be good, right? All right, so take a look here, Ty Block. at 6.3, and we're going back to it because we're looking at the Oakland A's on the road versus lefties. You see what the numbers say. 0.045 ISO, 237 WOBA, 27% carry. You see that, but you got to ask yourself, man, is Ty Block a guy that you can use to exploit those numbers? And I've got to say he's not. I've got to say he's not. He's just not. 8.5 run total here. Kendall Graveman on the other side. We got the San Francisco Giants at the crib against right-handed pitching. We look at this. They're also not in a great way. 119 is the ISO with a 300 WOBA and a 16.9% K rate. If I had to choose between both of these pitchers, bro, God, that'd be a fucked up spot. That'd be a fucked up spot. I can't play Graveman. I can't play Ty Block. This is a pitcher's park. I will just stay away from pitching altogether in this spot. I wouldn't even love the bats too much. The only thing I would do was hope that Graveman is not going to be all there in his first return back from the DL, and I would play some of those San Francisco's lefties as they put them in the roster. And of course, I would attack Ty Block with some of the Oakland right-handers and guys that have good lefty-lefty matchups. So that's where I would go with this one. This is where I see the entire slate. So let's go back, take a look over the pitching once more, just so we have a good idea, because I'm going to shrink this list, bro. By the time we jump into the line drive at 5, we're going to have our pitching already narrowed down to guys that we love, already ready to go, okay? And if you want to be a part of that, too, it's very simple, man. Go to the website, www.dfssweatshop.com. That is where, upon your paid subscription, you will be allowed into the very best Facebook group online, man. This is where we chop shit up and break shit down. Take a look at our pitching. We got Alex Wood, Corey Kluber, Jose Quintana from the early, Michael Wacha, he's also from the early slate. Sonny Gray is a guy that we'll be looking at. Parker Bridwell, Colin McHugh, Sal Romano is a guy we're going to be looking at as well. And German Marquez, the cheapest play we got on the slate so far is going to be German Marquez. So this is going to be shrunk all the way down, bro. A couple of these, or 3 of these, are actually from the early, and I think that's Quintana, Wacha, and one more guy, and Romano, I think, are from the early. Is that right? No, because I didn't like yeah, Quintana, Wacha, and Marquez are from the early. Yeah, those 3 guys are from the early. Yeah, that's from the early. For the main, we like Wood, some Kluber maybe. He's a big question mark for Kluber against the Yankees. We can go Sonny Gray, of course, in the same game. Parker Bridwell, Colin McHugh, Sal Romano, and of course, you got to remember that Coarse is not on the slate. So Bridwell and Cahill for the main on first glance for you. This is Christopher Marie, but I don't like it, honestly. Gonna depend on the Yankee game if it plays. Yeah, a lot is gonna depend on weather, man. So make sure you're on top of that stuff, man. A good way to do that, as we already discussed, is to jump in and follow the beat writers. Be active on Twitter. There's a couple guys do really good work. MLB weather, really good spot to look at. So, yo, go ahead and hit us up at the website. This has been your host, the DFS Jerusalem. You can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem, letting you know if you're on FanDuel, keep it 250. If you're on DraftKings, keep it 200. You're rocking with the best. So that means you're always keeping it 300. Peace.